Here they are.
Well, good.
Jeff
Thank you
Beck.
for helping, huh?
Jeff Beck, Big John,
Hi.
Debbie Shoshone.
Hi, how are
Debbie
you?
Shoshone.
Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you,
Hi,
Joe.
how are you? Are any of you with Toastmasters?
No, we do have people from our
Yeah,
organization
Miss
that are.
Sweetie has people from
Oh.
their place in Toastmasters.
That are
Yes,
part of the Cameron and Cat Wiggins.
Oh, I didn't play your start. You got your start? Did you push your start? Did you push your start? You pushed it. I got it.
Yes, I did.
I didn't push it.
Oh, okay.
I got to
Sorry.
push this thing over here. It's not there.
Is it done?
Don't worry about it. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Thanks, huh?
Nice to see you.
Okay.
What a nice night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I failed to tell them that the show was as long as it is. We were going to be here for 5 minutes, so it should be interesting.
City of Daytona Beach,
Yeah.
The Truth,
You're like,
with Gwen Azama-Edwards on Goliath
hear
Radio.
what she's saying. Is this your first debut?
Yes.
You never called in? I made a commercial once before, but it was a clothing commercial.
Stan, you've been sitting much too long. Much too long. Welcome, 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 welcome to Truth, a radio program designed with you in mind, a program whose sole purpose is to empower you, our listeners, for information leads to knowledge, and knowledge is power. And as always, I want to empower you to take control of your life, those things that impact you, your family, and your community. As always, too, I want you to go to the website at www.gwen-truth.com so you can access all of those powerful listings and get connected to those places with that information that will make you what? All powerful. Because information truly is power. And if you don't have it, what can we say? Then you're less powerful, right? Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Again, go to the website www.gwen-truth.com so you can not only access all of the links to the powerful information, but you can also take part in the query which we have going, and want to know what you think in terms of the courteousness of businesses, their employees, and the like, okay? There's a need for more of that. There's a need for always for more love, you know. I know you guys say, this isn't flower power time and all that kind of stuff, but there's always a need for love. And in the event I forget, because we are going off early at 7 tonight, Bethune-Cookman has a basketball game, but I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all of the wonderful and gorgeous mothers out there. You're gorgeous because I see you as God sees you. I see your heart, you know. You may be, I don't know what you're going to look like on the outside or what you do, but the bottom line is if you have a great heart, if you have a beautiful heart, then you're a beautiful person. So to all of the beautiful people and the beautiful mothers out there, Happy Mother's Day. And to everyone else, hey, let your mother know how much you care, how much you appreciate her. She's done so much for you, and she is deserving of that, right? Yeah, 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 yeah. You know, I started to feel a little sad. I hadn't gotten anything from my sons, Lori. And today, my older son, I got a beautiful bouquet of roses, a dozen roses, and they're all different colors. So there's the red, the pink, the lilac-like, and the yellow. And I'm just so super happy and grateful, and I just thank him so much. Because guys, whether or not you know it or not, even when we pretend like we don't like to get anything, we do, and it really makes our day. It makes our whole month. It makes our whole year. So do even if you only call your mother and say, "I love you, I appreciate you." Do that, okay, for Mother's Day. Thank you, and we will be all so appreciative of that. Now, we're going to go ahead and get into the program since we have the 45 minutes. And my guest, if you're a Facebook friend, you know, my guest is, of course, Lori Gillooly. And because we're friends, I know how to pronounce her name. And her brother helps keep me straight, too. We live in the same subdivision, so where paving is going on. And I'll do a shout out too for D&W paving, because they have been doing an excellent job of paving. So shout out to, you know, when businesses do good, you guys, you should recognize them. When they don't do so well, then you should say something to them so they can improve. But we also have with us a great community partner business, and that's Masco Contractor Services, and we're going to be talking to them. They're going to be sharing some information about Habitat for Humanity being their Charity of the Month. Charity of the Month, and I think it's so awesome. I've been talking with them briefly about some of the things they do, and you know why we call them a great community partner? Because they are. Because not only do they have their business here and they have their executive offices in Daytona Beach, but not only do they do that and employ people and pay good wages, but they also go out into the community and do some great and awesome things in helping organizations, and they do that every month. Now, I have to say that because I told them I'm familiar with businesses and organizations that have fundraisers maybe once or twice a year or 3 or 4 times a year, but never, ever, every month. And their employees do this. So we're going to talk to them about that. And of course, we want to start off with talking to Lori about Habitat. I used to serve on the board, big supporter. I am a staunch supporter of Habitat. And Lori, you know, you and I have talked in the past. There are some people who think, you know, oh, those houses, they aren't quite, you know, up to par with other houses and the like. And we want to inform people that that is not the case, that these are gorgeous homes. Not only do you do 2 and 3 bedrooms, but you guys have even done larger size homes for larger families. So I just think it's awesome what you do in terms of helping people get and be a part of, receive the American dream. Because no matter what we say, owning a home is a major part of the American dream, and there are so many that are going into foreclosure, they're losing their homes and the like, and trying to kind of fight their way back, get the credit back and everything else to be able to afford a home. But these homes are provided to individuals who qualify, and I would love for you to share the qualifications for going into a Habitat house, which is a home, it's blessed and everything else. And besides the qualifications, if you would share also with the many individuals who are part of that total process, even leading into the sweat equity. I've got to stop doing this because usually I know so much, I learn so much about the different organizations and the like that I have on the show. And then I start going into these long drawn out questions and you hardly remember any of them, the last one maybe. But I'm excited. I'm excited about Habitat and what they do. And having you at the helm just makes it that much better. So share with us and those who may not be as familiar as they should be concerning Habitat.
You know, Gwen, thank you first of all so much for having Habitat here with you today, Halifax Habitat for Humanity. And we are really excited to have with us our fantastic corporate partners, Masco. We have Jeff Beck, who is Vice President of Operations, and Debbie Shoshone, who is the Senior Manager of HR. And they are located right here in Daytona Beach. Masco is a nationwide corporation, Masco Contractor Services. But we are so fortunate to have the partnership we have right here in our own local community. And I love how you go, as you say, on, because you add credibility to us. I said that to someone today, you know, if you called me, you know, tomorrow morning and said, at 8, and said, Lori, at noon, you know, I had a guest speaker at a luncheon, they canceled, could you come? Yeah, sure, and I'll write the speech, you know, over there in my head in the car. Because I live this and breathe this. I've been in my job for 12 years. I've been that fortunate. But, however, there is no more credibility than you as a volunteer or former board member speaking about the program in the glowing terms that you do. For Jeff and his team to be doing what they do, and for our own homeowners to be talking about the program. That matters 100 times more than whatever I could say. And you asked specifically, because you have been generous in letting us hear, I've learned to write down your questions so that I don't forget. And you asked first to just give a little bit of how people qualify, because there is a great myth out there that Habitat gives these homes away. And after, Habitat was formed back in 1976 in a little town called Americus, Georgia, as I know you know. But for your listeners, it was never intended as a giveaway program. It was always intended as a program that was a Christian housing ministry that ties very much with accountability and responsibility. And how it works is that individuals, families come to Habitat and they apply, and there is an objective application process. And there's 3 main criteria for qualification. One is housing need, the second is ability to pay, and the third is a willingness to partner with Habitat for Humanity. And the need, I'll go back now and just give you a very brief explanation, but the need, when Habitat really started, was about getting people out of substandard housing. And it still is, but now the need has, like, the definition of need has been expanded. Where before, and you and I talked about this, certainly in your role as city clerk and city commissioner, that a substandard housing situation is so detrimental to a family, and especially to children. And unfortunately, you do have some wonderful landlords out there that go out and take care of things and have up to standard properties. But unfortunately, you have a lot that don't. And the need originally with Habitat was all about making sure that people weren't living in substandard housing situations. And to give somebody an explanation of structure substandard, we had a homeowner she's now a homeowner, but a family partner initially, who the place she was renting, she knew that the floorboards were so bad, she was afraid to even let her children stand in the bathtub because she was afraid of that floor falling through. And the landlord wouldn't do anything about it, and she was paying top dollar to rent. So housing need is about getting people, a need is a problem with the structure of the house, that it is substandard. But over time, that has evolved, and we even look at if there's overcrowding, and a lot of times there is. A lot of times, because of the economic situation, especially what we've been through the last few years, you have a couple of families trying to share, a one-bedroom apartment, and, children sleeping on the floor, or parents sleeping on the floor to allow the children to have a bed. You have another situation of safety. You have another situation of that people are paying far more for housing than they should, that they can survive on. HUD talks about, or Housing and Urban Development, talks about the idea, and I think we would all agree, that you try to have your housing payment no more than 30% of your income. Habitat, we try to keep it at 25%. But we have found that families that come to us to apply for a Habitat home, they're paying sometimes 60 to 80% of their income on housing. And that's why if you have something like those 3 hurricanes we had a few years ago in a row, and their business closed down, they're out of work for no reason of their own. They're willing to work, but they can't get to work, or there is no work. They are quickly in a situation where they could become homeless. So housing need, as I said, has evolved over time. The second is ability to pay, because Habitat's not a giveaway. Each family, contributes sweat equity as their down payment. Then they have to pay for their house. Now sometimes we have 2 couples that are of retirement age, and that's Social Security income. It doesn't necessarily need to be earned income. We've built with disabled individuals who are eligible for Social Security disability. But you do have to have income, because you have to pay for this house. You purchase the house from us at no profit to Habitat, and we provide a 0-interest mortgage that's paid back then over the life of the loan. And with every mortgage payment, you are certainly adding equity to your home, but you're also furthering the program. So someone who donates time or money or energy to a Habitat house, they come out and volunteer, they are really not only impacting that family that they're working on that house, but every family that comes after them.
Right.
Because it's a cycle, you know, it's a circle that continues. And the final requirement or criteria is a willingness to partner, to understand that it's not a giveaway, and that there's a component that we call sweat equity that family puts in. And that's hundreds of sweat equity hours.
Mm-hmm.
And what I think is more important to tell you about that is that in my 12 years there, every homeowner that I've ever worked with put in more than their required hours because they wanted to. And I can't tell you how many of our families continue to volunteer with us and be part of our program to further the mission for other families. And it is a long process. It's usually about 12 to 18 months, and it involves a larger education piece than we've ever had before.
Mm-hmm.
Because as you know, we've had a few foreclosures over the last few years. We don't want to do that. We didn't want it to happen, but it is a program that requires accountability, and it's not like if somebody misses one payment. I mean, we've worked with a number of our families in crisis all the time. But if someone or a family has chosen to stop partnering with us, well, that's not fair to the other families that are keeping up their partnership with us.
Mm-hmm.
So sadly, we have had to take a couple of houses back. But in that process, we've also learned to up our education program and to up our financial literacy programs. And we're working very closely with Fifth Third Bank, who you know gives us free office space.
Yes.
We have wonderful offices right on International Speedway Boulevard, thanks to their generosity. But more importantly, they've started our financial literacy classes with us through a grant a couple of years back, and that started us on that road to doing that. So we're spending a lot more time on the education piece, and we're starting to see it pay off. And I would encourage anyone, we're doing some renovations on houses we took back in Ormond, on Willow Place, on Jefferson we just completed, and we're going to be starting on Palm now. And I would encourage you to go down and look at those houses because they are unique. And our site supervisor, David Speary, and the volunteers that work with him, largely the GE volunteers.
GE volunteers,
yes. They have made some tremendous gains in aesthetics on Habitat houses because we want the families to be able to assimilate right into that neighborhood. And we want everyone to be proud of that house, not just the family who owns it, but the neighborhood that supports it. And so I hope that answered your questions.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's important for individuals to understand that, and your slogan says it too, about a home and the family and the community. I mean, it impacts it all.
Yes.
And if individuals who are interested in really seeing firsthand the impact that Habitat has on a community, go to some of the areas. I know there's some in Daytona Beach and really all over Ormond Beach, Holly Hill, and the like. But I know there is a street in Daytona Beach where
Lane.
Yes, where all of the homes, the majority of the homes are Habitat homes, and they have their own neighborhood watch now.
Yeah.
Once those houses were in place and started being fixed up and everything, people around them started fixing up their homes,
Right.
and it became a major part of the community.
Yes.
So there's a lot to be said about what happens in terms of, is my sound not on well?
something's
Okay,
wrong.
yeah. But there's a lot to be said about what happens when Habitat comes into an area and a family gets a home, and it's not a house for them, it is a home.
Yes.
And that home then changes the mindset of that entire family, from the children who now have their own bedroom, their own bed where they don't have to share it with another, even though they didn't object because that was the way it was. But,
Sure.
you know, they're able to now do things and have things that other children that they've spent time with or been around have done. So it has and it does make a difference.
Yes. Yes.
And when they make payments on the houses, I need to throw this out too, what happens is that money then goes toward helping others. As you've said, it builds upon one thing, builds upon another, builds upon another. So for Masco, how did your company get into and select Habitat for Humanity as a site, as a charity that you would work with during the month, and explain a little bit so people know about your company, what it's about, what you do.
Sure, thank you, Gwen. Masco Contractor Service is the nation's leading installer of residential building products. We are headquartered here in Daytona Beach, as you mentioned, and we're part of Masco Corporation, a Fortune 500 company. You guys probably, your listeners probably know us more for Delta Faucets and Behr Paint, those type of brands. We offer professional installation services for builders, remodelers, and commercial contractors. So there's a real nice link between our business and what Habitat does for the community. So as part of our Charity of the Month program, we reached out to Habitat and offered to sponsor them, and we've done it for about 6 years in a row now. And it's a really unique program within MCS that this is an employee-run program, our Charity of the Month program, and any employee at the office can nominate a charity that they work with, that they have an interest in, and once they get approved to be the Charity of the Month, they then spend that month raising funds and working to further the mission of that charity. And then that's all employee run, so it's not run by the senior management team or anything like that. Any employee
Now,
can do it.
isn't that fantastic? I'm actually testing the mic too a little bit. But to, yes, oh, that's awesome. That's it. That's right on time. To say that it's not top run, that it really is, it's your staff on the floor, those that are, feet on the ground, people who are actually want to do this. They are being made to do it. This is something they've decided that they want to do. And I thought it was interesting too when you said that the employee that makes the recommendation, if that one is selected, then they get to do a lot of work.
Yeah, it's additional work for that person, but typically it's really great because they're tied to that local community, or that local charity, and so they're working with them outside in their personal life anyway.
Right.
So they're able to bring knowledge of that mission and what they're trying to get accomplished into the company and try and spread the word about what they're trying to accomplish.
But it also fosters employee engagement and teamwork, because people work as a team through the charity, so it's great for the organization. And we actually have raised over $300,000 since 2006 for all our charities of the month.
Oh, wow.
That's when we started the program.
Yeah, and all that money, Gwen, stays local. Okay, so although we work with Habitat for Humanity, there's many very local charities that also get nominated and involved in the program. So it's really about staying in the Volusia County area and working with charities that our employees are engaged with already.
And Masco matches all of the funds, so whatever they make through the charities for the month, Masco matches all of the funds.
I mean, to me, that's just awesome. It's awesome that not only are you an employer who you have how many locations around the nation?
We have about 180 locations across the country. You know us here locally as Vern's Installation and Specialties. Been in the community for many years. Our corporate office is over behind the Volusia Mall. That's where we have accounting and HR and some of the other functions work out of that office, IT. But we got about 180 locations that service a wide variety of customers across the country.
And each month, get this, each month they select a charity and they work to fundraise for that charity in various ways. And you were saying you try to be creative and come up with a new something to do each time.
Well, so there's a little bit of competition amongst the different charities of the month. So IT does, our IT department will do United Way, and they come up with all basketball and barbecues and fundraisers. So we're always trying a little bit of competition when everybody wants to raise more money, because at the end of the year at our Christmas party, they announce all the charities and what everybody has brought in and raised for all the charities. So it's kind of fun. It makes it a lot of fun.
Oh, wow.
So.
And for Habitat, you did a Cinco de Mayo.
We did. We took the month of May and said, okay, what can we do, and kind of make different themes for each of the months. So since Cinco de Mayo was the first part of the month, we did a taco bar, and we the employees came for lunch, and we did it in our break room. And Lori came and joined us. It was fun. She even did dishes. And the employees really enjoyed it. The food came out good. We all cooked, and Jeff cooked.
Cooks
taco,
too, goodness
yeah.
gracious.
We served the taco bar, and people ate lunch together, so it brought the office together, and they really enjoyed it. And we're going to do a Memorial Day barbecue, and
We're also doing, we did
Yeah.
a flower plant sale for Mother's Day. And,
Oh, wow.
and
Awesome.
the golf tournament, Jeff.
Yeah, we have a big golf tournament the last day of the month, the 31st of the month. We start about 2 o'clock out at LPGA. Shotgun start, scramble format. And this will be the 5th consecutive year we've had that. It's a great event for the community. We reach out to other companies to help us with whole sponsorships and things like that. As well as a lot of our employees like to play golf. They come out, it's great camaraderie. Spend half a day basically out there. We get an opportunity to talk about Habitat for Humanity and the good work they do.
Wonderful.
And then everybody gets to go out and have a good time, and it's really a great event and a lot of fun for both Masco and hopefully we benefit Habitat as well.
Now, if someone wants to take part in the golf tournament, I'm sure it's still open, and so share how they can do that. And if someone, because Mother's Day is coming up Sunday, wants to get some flowers, how can they contact you for that as well?
They can contact Debbie Shishon at 386-304-2221, and I can help them out with that.
Okay.
We have 4 or 5 different arrangements they can pick from.
Wow.
But we do have to get the orders in by tomorrow since Mother's Day is.
All right, for those who are listening, not those who will watch this on YouTube, but those who are listening, get that order in because not only do you do a great thing for your mother in terms of giving her flowers, I can tell you it works, but you also have an opportunity of helping a wonderful charity too. And this charity is unlike other charities because Habitat, because of the sweat equity that's built into that, and because as people make payments, that goes toward helping someone else to get a house. And because, it's like building a house that becomes a home that changes the whole mindset and the whole really psyche of the young people who now have a home that they did not have before, of the family members that now have something that mothers who can give back to their children.
Yes.
Give them something that maybe they didn't even have. And as a part of the community where they're actually giving back by showing not only the pride, but the love they have for their home, for their community, for their family. It's just awesome. It is just awesome. And I am, as I said, I'm just a big, what can I say? I love this program. And, serving on the board, I know too that the board members who serve who are community people, like yourselves, you guys have board representation on Habitat Board as well. As are churches involved, and they have a blessing that they do as a part of the opening where the family members actually get the keys to their homes and they get a Bible as well. But in all of this, and we got to talk about, of course, the GE
Yes.
people, the retarees who have given so much of their time over the years.
Right.
I mean, they're just awesome.
Right now, for every house, we do have to raise money for whether it's the renovation or the new construction. We have been focusing on renovation this past fiscal year. And right now, those 3 houses that are under renovation that I mentioned earlier are being supported by GE. They're the sponsor of one house. Another house is being sponsored by funds through the Housing Finance Authority of Volusia County. And we thank the board who supports that, and actually Ty Wilson, who is past chairman, made that relationship happen for us initially. And also the 3rd house, we're using funds from a donation to us by Burt Reams Insurance Services, and also the proceeds from this last fiscal year of our Habitat Restore. Because we have our Restore at 695 Mason. It's open Tuesday through Saturday from 9 to 4:30.
Wonderful.
And your donation. So if you're someone who's wants to support Habitat, but you're not in a position to come out and volunteer with us or write a check, you have an opportunity to help us by maybe donating a gently used piece of furniture that you're replacing or an appliance. Building materials we also accept, and as a shopper, I'd encourage you to come down.
Oh, yes.
Because we get a lot of new things. We get a lot of new appliances. We have a lot of beautiful new lighting fixtures down at the store right now. Doors, there's cabinetry, so there's some really beautiful things. And every dollar that we earn at the Restore helps to fund our program. And the GE volunteers, have been involved in almost everything we do. If I'm at a dinner and I say they've been involved in 60 houses, one of them will correct me and say, no, it's 70. So I always now just say everything we've ever done, they've been there, because they really have. They've been working with us for more than 20 years, and we were happy to, our board president, Lori Campbell-Baker, presented them with the Spirit of Hope Award this year in March at our Celebration of Hope event. But I will tell you something too. You mentioned the churches that are involved. We're a Christian housing ministry, and I want to tell you about Masco and how they're not going to say this to you, but I need to say it.
Absolutely.
And as a corporate partner in this community, I think about, you know, the hit that construction took in the last few years. And I mean, I've been around enough to know how much construction drives the rest of the economy in our community. And here's Masco as a provider to contractors. They never stopped their engagement with the community. I mean, that's really something to know. They never stopped their engagement with the community. And we were so proud of them and so appreciative of what they've done. We had put a nomination this year to the United Way, and I'm proud to tell you, because I love when you hear your own words being read from the stage, you know your nominee has won. And we were so proud of them because they won the Corporate Group Award from the United Way for Volunteer of the Year. Corporate Group Volunteer of the Year. Just got that award, you know, in, I think it was April 25th. So that's new, you know, that's new news. And we did our interfaith build. That was actually the last new construction that we did, and so we started focusing on renovations. And we dedicated that house, let's see, May of 2012. And that was at Lagoni Circle, the Flemish Woods development. As you know, you helped us with the partnership with the city of Daytona Beach in your role in the city. And we had about 19 faith community partners who had wanted to do this interfaith build. And the churches too, you know, were struggling in these economic times. But those churches stepped up, and we got to about just under half of what we needed we need $80,000 for a full house sponsorship, and we were, you know, at a point where we knew we couldn't raise any more with the 19 faith organizations that we had. Masco stepped up and found all the rest of those funds for us, and in addition, found a lot of in-kind donations as well, paint.
Yeah, it was really it's an honor to be involved, and it really got our other companies within the Masco organization involved with. They donated in-kind donations of Behr paint for the interior and exterior. All the tubs came from our Aqua Glass business unit. Franklin Brass, all the bath accessories, and Delta tub and shower, Delta, all the faucets throughout the home. And Maryland donated all the cabinets for the entire house. So it was really great to see you know, Masco come together and support that with all the business units that are out there. So it's a tremendous honor to do that.
You guys are really something else, and
they came out, I'm sorry, and they also came out and worked on the house on top of it, you know, with their expertise.
Gosh, gee whiz. I mean, and I see that you were actually the 2011 Enterprise Award went to you from the Daytona Regional Chamber of Commerce as well. So you've been at this giving, as you said, you've had the Charity of the Month going for 7 years, and that means that 12 months out of the year, for 12 charities a year, you have been giving and doing for 7 years. Is that right?
That's correct.
Oh wow, you're right. That just deserves applause. And to have your corporate office here, and then when you get involved in something, do others outside of the area, because you said these dollars actually stay here in the area.
Absolutely.
Do others your businesses outside of the area help? I think you mentioned that just recently.
Yeah, we've got, you know, our individual 180 locations within MCS all do some charity work in reaching their local communities as well, and that stays local. And Masco Corporate obviously has tremendous corporate citizenship that they're involved in, and they actually contributed some money towards this interfaith build last year. So that was kind of like MCS was able to get, you know, a little bit further, and then Masco Corporation in Detroit actually is a big partner with Habitat International. And
Just
so
awesome.
they kind of put in the
Awesome.
last little bit to push us over the edge.
See, you almost, it's hard for me to get speechless, but Lori too, former councilwoman and commissioner, but when you hear about a corporate sponsor, a community partner like you guys, Masco Contractor Services, I mean, you're just awesome. That's all I can say is that you're awesome. And what you do from your heart, because everything that's genuine comes from the heart. And what you do from your heart to help these various charities, because those charities, they have names, but they also represent people. That's the thing, There's a face, there's a family, there's a child behind every one of those charities that you help. And in truth, even when you help, because you help the Humane Society, you said as well, but even for that, for the animals that you help, they're going to end up with families and the like as well. So there is an individual that is being helped by something that you've done, something that you're doing, and that has to be rewarding. Personally rewarding as well as rewarding in terms of the business as well. Now, before we go off, I'm sure, Lori, there may be something else that you want to share, something that you want to enlighten people on in terms of Habitat, but we do want to mention again the numbers that individuals need to use and give your website too, where they can, if they want to, again, participate in the golf tournament that comes up on May 31st, how to sign up for that, because by doing that, these businesses or these individuals are helping others to help themselves. We're talking about not handouts, but we're talking about a hand up, because these individuals who are already working, and many of them are working poor, are individuals who really want to be further their involvement in the community and their giving back. And as Lori has said, many of them who get into the sweat equity for their own homes actually end up contributing time to help others to do the same.
Absolutely.
That really speaks to the human spirit, in my opinion. It speaks to the generosity of the human spirit. It speaks to the great hearts that are out there. And for all the negativity that we hear, and read in the news and hear over the airways, there are still a lot of good people out there who in truth outnumber the bad or so-called bad people, but they're the ones who really don't want the accolades and they don't want the the recognition and everything else. They're just doing what's right. We're just doing what's right.
Gwen, to answer the golf tournament question, obviously we're still looking for some hole sponsors, and we will have opportunities to come out and participate in the event itself. And any questions or any concerns, any opportunities somebody wants to get involved, they can reach out to Debbie at 386-304-2221.
386-304-3221.
2221. So 2221.
Okay.
Same number that we gave for the flowers before?
Same
for us.
number.
All right. Wonderful.
And also, our website at Habitat is www.halifaxhabitat, all one word, .org. halifaxhabitat.org. We have a link, I believe, to the Masco, or at least, if not, it gets you to us, and we'll get you to Masco.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And one of the things you said before, maybe Debbie can speak to this just a little bit more. I'm not just saying this because they're sitting here, because when I first asked them, they're like, oh no, we don't need any, I said, no, I want you to come to talk about Habitat. You're adding credibility to what Habitat does.
Right,
but
absolutely.
It's important to note, like you said, the heart and the good things that are happening in this community. And I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let Debbie speak to it, but what I notice when I work with them is the incredible spirit that, not only the team that's working on that charity, but the other employees come to support them. So,
well, as I said before, first of all, we love working with Lori. It's great. She's just wonderful to work with. But it's team building. I mean, we just really have fun doing it and love it. I mean, I look forward to it every year. The Habitat, and then I also participate in all the other organizations and try to join in with all of it. So I can't say enough about it. It's really fun, and I know our employees always really. We have one employee that does 3 charities in the year. Actually nominates 3 charities and runs them all. And
wow.
with help from other people,
Yeah.
but she's amazing. I mean, just really, really amazing. So it's a great thing. I think other companies should do the same thing.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You guys are setting the standard. All those listeners out there who are business people, I know you've been through some rough times lately, but things are starting to pick up. And you know, what I find in life is that the more you give, the more you receive. The more you bless others, the more you're blessed. And I think the same thing works with businesses, corporate headquarters and the like. You know, it works for them as well. The more they give, the more they get back, because a lot of great businesses become great by word of mouth. It's not always that great marketing piece that they have, but it's by people telling other people just how good and wonderful they are.
Right.
And so it's that type of thing that really pays off in the long run. Not doing it for payback, but you end up getting and receiving payback because you do it for the right reasons, and because it's right, and because you know you just have the right heart. And you know, even though there's that big thing about whether corporations are persons, but I can say that there are corporations that have hearts. Yes. They really have hearts, and they show it. They demonstrate it by what they do for others every day. So, Lori, closing comments.
I want to say thank you to Masco Contractor Services for an incredible partnership. I hope people come out. I don't know how to golf really, but I go to the golf event and it is a fun event. It is a really great thing. They have a great partnership with LPGA, and I know they're going to have some dinner specials and things. So even if you can come out and after the golfing, you come out and meet your friends that are golfing, but get a foursome together and come out, and it's a great networking because there's a lot of business people. Right now we have support already from Daytona International Speedway and International Speedway Corporation, Giles Electric,
Consolidated Tomoka.
right? And so there'll be a lot of, there'll be a lot of, there's good networking that happens there too.
Absolutely there is, and Intercoastal Bank is there.
Yes.
So there's lots of opportunities to get involved and network with other folks in the community, in the business community, and in the charitable community to get involved.
Absolutely. And you have a volunteer appreciation or something coming up?
On Saturday the 18th is our volunteer picnic. And if you are a Habitat volunteer and for some reason you didn't get the invitation in the mail or you haven't gotten our emails about it, please call the office. Our office number is 257-9950. This is an annual event that Lori Campbell Baker, our board president, and our board of directors and our staff puts on for our volunteers, to thank our volunteers. And it also gives us an opportunity to announce our volunteer of the year in an individual and a group volunteer. And I'm very excited about who those are going to be this year. I can't say it now because it's a surprise. It's like hand us the envelope that day. But our volunteer director, Cecilia Cannon, who does a phenomenal job for us, she'll be making those announcements with Lori at the volunteer picnic on the 18th from noon to 2 and or 11, is it 11 to 2? 11 to 2. And please call the Habitat office if you've been volunteering with us and for some reason you didn't get this invitation, because we want you there. So, and that number again at the office is 257-9950. And if you want to email me directly about anything, to get in touch with Masco or anything about Habitat, my email is Lori, my first name, Lori, @halifaxhabitat.org. And Gwen, thank you so much, not only for having us on today, but genuinely for your continued support of our organization. You add a lot of credibility to what we do in the city too, and we appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate Masco Contractor Services. I appreciate Habitat. And I appreciate all of the volunteers who really come together and work together to make this program a success. Because, you know, if we think about it, I know United Way just had a volunteer appreciation affair as well. And I think shout out to all of those who volunteer, give up their time, give up their energy, give up their passion to help programs like Habitat and other programs throughout our community that are helping others to help themselves. You are what makes the difference. in everything that goes on in our communities. And we would not have, I believe personally, the way of life that we have in this great country that we happen to be a part of, were it not for those good, wonderful people who have great hearts and such passion for giving. And we appreciate them all for that. Great closing. Okay, you've been listening to Truth with Gwen Azama-Edwards. My guest, of course, Lori Gillooly, the Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity. We have representatives from the Masco Contractor Services. Give us your name again and title.
Jeff Beck.
Debbie Shoshone, Senior Manager.
Okay, wonderful. What are you, Jeff?
Oh, I'm VP of Operations.
Okay. See, these humble people, I tell you, they do it out of their hearts. But we want you guys to give us a listen every Thursday starting at 6:15 when I boot the big guy out of the chair. And remember to be informed, be empowered, and stand tall for that which is right and truthful. And like Lori, like Jeff.
And
Debbie, see, now they're taking a picture. We're all standing. You guys be, enjoy the weekend. And I'm going to say this again. Mother's Day Sunday, happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers. But stand tall for that which is right and truthful. You guys be great and just have a great, wonderful weekend. God bless.
With your host, Gwen Azama-Edwards, exclusively for Thursday Night.
Who is that?
LE.
How'd you do, baby? You were great. I thought you were great. Did I let you talk enough?
Oh, it's funny.
I warned you, and I got my book in a while to warn you.